How are we all doing? Right. I think we're ready and rocking. Got a show on the road.
Invincible.
Cool. Right. So, tonight then. Live and direct. Well, not live and direct. These races happened like a few days ago now, but there we go. Been a bit too busy to get on board, so I'm just plugging my phone charger in because I realised that my phone's about to die, so I need to just get it charging while I'm doing this. There we go, lovely stuff. So we're on board. So tonight then, Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship round number 2 then. So this is races 3 and 4. Race 1 is from Brands Hatch GP. That's the first one we'll be watching. And race 2 is going to be from one of my personal favourite tracks, Spa-Francorchamps. So two very different circuits with very different ways of attacking it and driving it and all that sort of stuff. The drivers then selected their cars last week, so they will have had to have picked a car to use for race 1 all the way through the season and a car to use all the way through the season for the second race of the evening. So that will have already been pre-selected. We have had a few little driver moves in the league. We've gained a couple of drivers and we've lost a driver. We've gained James Harben, who was pretty much dominating Elite 2. And we've lost Mr. Gold 45, who was not near the back last time. He was sipping his fuel like a fine wine last week. So let's get you over then to the... let's get you over then to the track. Let's do that. There we go. So let's have a quick run through the qualifying order. So Jay Wills in the Porsche. In fact, actually, let me make this a little bit more cinematic for you. Let's give you a little bit of ambience, shall we? There we go. Oh, fucking yeah, now we're rocking, aren't we? Right, so we've got Jay Wills. He's in the Porsche. Then we've got Walmid in the Sirocco. That car will go well around here, but watch out for its tyre wear. Jaino, I want to guess. Yeah, Jaino in the Club 100 Mazda. Lovely looking car, that is. I'm going to guess that's Tino, just by the Faithlessimo there. He also streams, so you can go ahead and check his stream out for his point of view. But he's in the Lamborghini. He's also looking for a better week this week. Then we've got who is that? That is Rick's Ferrari. Rick GTR. Then back here we've got Diablo, the Australian. So he races with us from the other side of the world. This is the car to watch then. So James Harben's McLaren, the matte black McLaren there, dominating Elite 2. Surferev's Ferrari, doing well is Surferev. Then you got MRC Immortal in the Citroen, that will start well. Has 91's Toyota GT86 is there. Then that's Big Gigi Buffon's Lamborghini. That is Ginger Poster's Citroen. Then back here we've got the Hyundai of Marshall. Sayer Exit there in the Nissan. And then at the back, unfortunately having a bit of a poor qualifying session, is this Lamborghini here. I'm not sure who it belongs to though, but we will find out in just a moment when we head to the race. So we'll just exit photo mode. I'll get ourselves that Lamborghini, by the way, was it's Idle 4 Gaming's Lamborghini. So he didn't qualify at all, I don't think. Joined quite late on in the session. Cool. Right. Let me get rid of you. Perfect. Right. So half an hour race then. Drivers, Rick. Drivers have to use 2 compounds of tyre, so we can see on your screen then, just sort of bottom left. RSS is the softest and fastest compound of tyre, but it should in theory wear the fastest. Drivers will have to use that compound and the RS, the racing soft compound. The first one of those is Tino there in P4, so keep an eye on him. He may fall back from the pack. Keep an eye on Walmid in P2 in the Sirocco. That car will not get off the line very well. So I expect him to lose potentially a place or two off the start, but he should make that pace back up again. You see that does get a poor start. The Citroens all absolutely launch off the line, then Immortal and Rick getting fantastic starts then retrospectively in the Citroens. The Ferrari there with Rick GTR also getting a decent start. Oh, and Tino's off. What happened there from Faithful Simo's perspective? So he got a good start then in the Lamborghini. Side by side then, and he just ran out of road, unfortunately. Collects Surf Rev and James Harben, and Big Gigi Buffon is the winner out of that. He picked up three places. That had not been referred to the steward, so no teams have said they've got an issue with that. MRC Immortal then up to P6, Walmid then down in P5, but that Sirocco on the super soft tyres should start to make up ground pretty quickly. A little bit further up, we've got Jayino then hassling Jay Wills for a top spot. I think Jay Wills is also a promoted driver. I will check. You wouldn't think it was me who did the actual promotions, but there we go. James Harben commenting on things. Don't want to watch James, no worries, you don't have to. As Jay Wills then makes his way through, and it's going to be side by side coming into Sheen Curve then for the Porsche and the Mazda. The Mazda though just about keeping his nose ahead. A little bit further back we've got Rick in the Ferrari now challenging the Porsche. Then we've got Diablo, Walmid, Immortal, Ginge, Faithful Simo's recovered now. He's into P8, but he should have the pace because he was very quick in quali. James Harben then P9 just ahead of Surf Rev. Then you got Big Gigi Buffon, so what's happened to him? He was riding a little bit higher up. Then Marshall 12, Sarex in 13th, Idleful Gaming in P14, and Has 91 has had a whoopsie somewhere. He's down in 15th and last place at the moment. Rick, how you doing, mate? 2 Ricks in the room. You're running P3 at the moment, mate, so you're doing alright so far. Walmid then gaining places, losing them. He's got the Citroen of MRC Immortal. Just about enough racing room in between the two. Walmid's desperately trying to hang on to the advantage he had. MRC Immortal though also on the super soft compound tyre, just about manages to get a nose in. And Citroen might not have the pull. And Sirocco should be able to defend that position. Relative ease, a little bit further back. We haven't really got many drivers battling. We do have Surf Rev battling away with Marshall here then. As we can see ahead, we've got Immortal still trying to get his way past Walmid. At the top, it's still Jayino leading the way in the Club 100 Mazda. P-Gib, evening chief. This is what you could have been involved in, mate. Got a penalty already, that's for Faithful Simo. Now you'll have got that for a little corner cut. I did actually watch his stream the day after, saw how he got that. So yeah, it was just a little corner cut. He knew he had it in his strategy at this point in time, because I did watch, so I kind of do know where people finish in this one, unfortunately. But and I've watched Surfer's stream as well, so I've got a bit of a heads up on these boys. Always James Harben that gets it a little bit wrong in the McLaren. Manages to gather it up nicely though. They've got Idle Gaming trying to go around the outside, but it goes on the sandcastle instead. What happened there? Did Sarexic give him a little bit of a love tap then? So coming into turn 1, Sarexic, yeah, just let go of the brakes. Did hit Idle Gaming. Waited, but he did wait on the racing line. Now, fair enough, because Surf Rev then, who's had some sort of catastrophe. Yeah, Surf Rev also went on the sandcastle and smashes into the wall. That is the bravest photographer I've ever seen. So that's how Surf Rev ended up near the back of the field. But yeah, Surfer wasn't near enough, but if he was any closer, that would have been a problem for Surf Rev, because he couldn't have really got out of the way of that. So to any driver watching this, please don't wait on the racing line. It just causes chaos, and we don't need to be dealing with any of that. If it means you're driving a corner or two ahead just to get somewhere safe, do that, honestly. It's fine. So Walmid's managed to pull a little bit more of a gap than ahead of MRC Immortal. Immortal's now at threats from Ginger Post, who was on the soft compounded tyres, so Ginger's going to have the faster compound to come, and if he can get himself up to the back of Immortal at the very least by the time the pit stops roll around, you would think the undercut may be possible. Oh, as Faithlessimo just tests the track limits of his Lamborghini. Manages to keep it on board so far then, as we've got Surf Rev now v Idle 4 Gaming. Surf Rev's Ferrari is a bit of a beast around here. The problem is it's brand hatch. It's not the easiest track to overtake on, as a lot of us have found out this week. You really need to get those moves done nice and early. Then there's Jay now. Jay Wills is still battling away. Walmid trying his move. Look on Diablo. Diablo did just probably overcook it a little bit into Druid. Walmid just have to stay put for the time being. Nice clean fight, but it has brought Immortal back into the fray. So Walmid then will probably want to try and get Diablo sooner rather than later. Diablo again just through Surtees there, a little bit deep. Walmid's going to have to do this a hard way. Around the outside, just like two Trailer Park Girls. Is Walmid going to be able to pull this one off? He is. It's a grand overtake there by the Samsung driver. He gets himself ahead. Is Immortal going to try and poke a nose up on Diablo? He thinks better of it through this section of the circuit. You are dicing with death going for an overtake round here. It really is difficult to make it happen. Not impossible, just difficult. So all 15 drivers so far. So good. There's been a few little offs. Nothing major. The top two really starting to streak away. Then the fact that Walmid's struggling to get past it all, and then Immortal with a lovely overtake around the outside then of Diablo. Immediately then has to go defensive to McLaren. Good in a straight line. The McLaren, it's a good car for around here, but its strengths aren't fully exploitable. But it's nice and nimble enough. So Jay Wills then gets himself back up. Let's ride on board with Porsche and see what happens with that. Yeah, P-Gib it is. Just some quick guys in here, mate. Some of the lap times are quicker than a lot of what Infusion were doing as well, so arguably a lot of these boys can compete at top split level, which we already knew. So Jay Wills then up the insides. Yeah, standard overtake then by the Porsche. Doesn't look like Jano fought that one too much. Still quite early on in the race, of course. We've got 24 minutes or so remaining. So we've got Faithlessimo. He's got rid of that penalty now. Can he make a move then on Imposter? He's going to go for it down the inside. Made that happen. That was a nice. That was a late move that by Faithlessimo. The gap was there, in fairness. A little bit of contact at the apex, but ultimately racing room being given to all, and that's Faithlessimo then up to P6. And James Harbour now in the McLaren, just trying to make use of the cars ahead, fighting away a little bit. Well, just getting kicked up, just bringing Marshall back into the fray as well. Marshall, the driver, really impressed me last week with his pace. And Brands, you will just struggle if you're stuck in a pack. Your pace is affected by it. You really need to get out of traffic. So you might see some of these boys taking really early pit stop just to get out of the traffic. So at the top will be okay. Walmid will be fine. He'll execute his strategy. But if you're anyone in this pack here, you've really got to think: is it just worth chucking yourself in the pits early? Just get out of traffic. I'll be in trouble. West cut. Nah, Peter. Nah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Someone else is going building sandcastles though. That's Faithlessimo. Internet is holding steady so far. Looks like James Harbour has picked himself up a nice little penalty and is trying to burn it away from the corners. So Faithlessimo, where we saw make that nice overtake on Ginger Poster, he's got to do it all over again. Close enough for moving Surtees this time, but keep an eye on that. And Diablo still right on Immortal's tail and arguably pushing them all around at the moment. The McLaren gonna try and sweep one round the outside then. Citroen just had enough car ahead to defend it. Diablo's got nothing better of dive down the inside around here. You can overtake round here, but it's very it's risky. You're dicing with death pretty much the entire time. Surfer's just set his fastest lap time as well. Now he's out of the traffic. He's got, like, obviously made that mistake on lap 2. Now he's out of traffic, so to speak. He can start to just put the foot down a little bit and make some pace back up again. We'll see what he offers, of course. A little bit of a penalty, so you can't overtake if you're carrying a penalty, by the way, so that's the rule here. Flacimo down the inside again. Ginger might have just seen him a little bit late. James again trying to get rid of that penalty. That's going to give Marshall the opportunity potentially to sling one up the inside at Druids. It does so. Plenty of racing being given. Might make Marshall slow off the corner. James defends that position. Fortunately for James, he never conceded it, so welcome to defend your position with a penalty. If you lose it though, you have to earn the penalty before you can overtake another car. So James had to defend that as feverishly as he could. Survived so far. This is the issue, that a lot of these boys will have pace locked away and they can't exploit it just yet because of the position on track. That's not a problem we'll see at Spa, I don't think. So Spa will be a very different race for these drivers. Always Diablo then gets it a little bit wrong. He's got rid of that penalty though, but that's dropped him a little bit back from Immortal. And we've got someone else kicking up dust. That's Immortal ahead, kicking up the dust. Flacimo then able just to drive up to the back of these. See ahead, Waltman now has caught the back of Jaino. So 29.6 last time round for Waltman with his power wipers going on. What's it going to be this time? It's 29.9. And Jaino then on into the 30s. Both on the super soft compound tyre, but the Sirocco just has that poke out the corners. It will wear its fronts faster though than pretty much any other car on the circuit at the moment. The Citroen's tyre wear is usually pretty balanced. Same as the Lamborghini, you have to run the brake bias all the way to the back, but it doesn't really affect it. The brake, you then tend to have pretty even tyre wear. James still got a little bit of that penalty, doing well on his tyres at the moment, so that's going to stand him in good stead for a super soft stint to come. Again, will he be thinking of an undercut here? Will his race team be looking at the gaps? Because there is a gap there for him to get his car back out into. So let's say Rexic, and I think it's Has near the back of the field at the moment. Both just struggling for that pace. And then Surfer at the back of this train then at the moment. And then you have got Has 91 and say Rexic. Any one of the top lads that pits might just come out in that gap, you see. What's going on at the top then? Still got wall mid behind Jaino. I'd say the pit window's probably open now if you're on the if you're on the soft tyre, you'll be thinking of a pit stop maybe around lap 10, maybe lap 11. Earlier for those that are really brave and want to try a different strategy, because you can see just how important track position is here. We don't have anyone yet who's doing that. James Harben. Oh, what's happened, James? What's happened, mate? Disaster has befallen the McLaren. Just went a little bit on the plus point. He's burnt his penalty away. Unfortunately, that's the Google car backwards down in P13, back behind Surfer now. That good work James did at the start of the race. Unfortunately, he's just been undone now, but on the plus side, he's out of traffic at least, so every cloud and all that. Still got Walmid struggling to get past Jaino. Walmid will be feeling the wear on his tyres now. That's with a lot of these drivers. Starting to feel the car drift away. That's probably why we saw that mistake from James. The tyres really don't react well, so I get being leaned on, as you can probably tell. really start to put them through cycles, it's really a problem. Jay Wills is absolutely just running away with this now. And I can confirm he is running at the Fusion pace. These are rapid laps from Jay Wills. Jay's still got Warmid for company. Warmid's keeping them tyres in decent shape, to be fair to him. It's easy to keep the Sirocco's tyres in order, but he's managed it so far. And you've got this little train then of Immortal, Faithlessimo, Diablo and Marshall. James was in this, but he's unfortunately dropped himself out of it. Marshall's just off the back of this, just out of Slipstream Age. A little bit of a gap then back to Big Gigi Buffon. And then it's Ginge, then Rick, all in nice close formation. Idle4 Gaming's managed to reel up to the back of these chaps, with Surf F closing in as well. And then you've got James, Sayrexic, and Surf. We have got Diablo then. Diablo's early pit stop, slamming into the wall there in that McLaren. So he's going to go onto the super softs early, so he is trying to undercut now then. So this little contingent of Faithless Emo, Immortal, Marshall, they'll have seen that. Race teams are going to have to react. So will they try and go long, or will they try and cover that off by going into the pit? Time will of course tell that. So just the one car in the pits at the moment. It's Diablo then who's to come out on the super softs. That's what he's on indeed. So he's now out in 12th, just ahead of James Harben. And Diablo's got a nice clear bit of track just ahead of him to try and lock up to the back of Surfrev, and hopefully by the time he does that, Surfrev gets past Big Gigi Buffon, who made a mistake somewhere. Big Gigi Buffon. There he is. Oh, he's going a little bit deep, look. So Gigi's going to lose a few positions here. He's in the gravel. Diablo might actually be able to lock up to the back of that Lamborghini. Again, we are seeing the mistakes creep in now. We're at the halfway point of the race. Do we see the leaders in the pits? Let's go back and check in on them. We've got Jay Wills here on the super soft. I don't imagine he'll pit this time round. They're still in pretty good shape, those tyres. We may well see Jayino though come in. No, he carries on. I was going to say that front left is absolutely shot on his car. Faithless Emo, is he going to come in yet? I don't think he is, no. Immortal and Marshall do come in though, so they're reacting to the pit stop made earlier. We've got Gingin as well. Yeah, but a lot of drivers are now coming in for their stop. So Diablo, where does he come out in relation to Marshall, etc.? He comes out ahead, so the undercut has worked nicely. He's ahead of Immortal, and importantly for Diablo now on the super soft tyre. So his problem's going to be, is he going to get stuck behind Rick and Idle4? It's in the same race at the moment, these chaps. Yet to pit. Well, they are still battling for track position, of course. They're not obliged to get out of anyone's way, so Diablo then would be about to see his strategy work undone. Is still stuck behind Jayino. Is he just fuel saving at this point, just to try and get that Sirocco all the way on one tank? Can be done. Just got to be a little bit careful of how you use it. So a reminder of the rules then: all drivers have to use 2 different compounds of tyres, and all drivers have to use that compound, each compound of tyre, for a minimum of 3 laps. So it can be an out lap, a time lap, and an in lap. Absolutely fine, no problem with that. Still has to be 3 laps on the board, so anyone who's going to try and leave it right to the last gasp has to make sure they're going to have enough. So that's Diablo through then, just in time, as a couple of drivers do make their pit stops. Rick is carrying on. So Rick's probably got some concerns then about tyre wear. As you can see there, just gets in, just loses the back end of that car. Just runs a little bit too deep. It's all a little bit hit and miss at the moment. We have got drivers everywhere, so just give it a few minutes to to settle itself down, and I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll get a bit more of a picture. James Harburn, the penalty collector. Another half a second penalty for track limit abuse. So I ran half an hour around here with him last night. Not once did he pick up a penalty. So obviously he's getting it all out of the way here before the British GT event took place. So yeah, driver's still all over the place now. Jay Mills, who has pitted on the soft compound tyre, still has a very good gap over Jano and Warmwood, who after the pit stops retained position. So Warmwood wasn't able to make that jump in the pits. Both on the racing soft compound, so no tyre advantage between the two. Two very different concepts of car, and here's Warmwood about to make this overtake. He's going to have a look for it down the inside. Jano's gone wide. He's probably going to look for the cutback up into Druids, but Warmwood's been able to tidy up the exit of the corner quite nicely and gets the car tucked up. Diablo then just sets the fastest lap of the race just now at 28.8. He's got a decent enough gap now over Immortal, who's got Faithless Emo for company. Marshall then a very respectable 7th in the Hyundai at the moment. Cheers, Matt. Cheers, dude. Doing well at the moment in P5. Oh, you have got Lamborghini right up your chuff. The easiest to track to overtake at brands. It's you can't, like I've said, it can be done, but it takes a rather large set of gentleman testicles to make it happen. And Faithless Emo's about to flop his out on the table. Makes it done. It's not without its contact. Let's go and have a look at it from Emo's side. So Immortal just trying to defend. Yeah, turns into the apex just a little, just not enough. There was a little bit of contact. Everyone stayed on track. I think that was just about okay. Yeah, Faithless Emo certainly plopped it on the table and showed us all what we've got just there. A little bit of work to do if he wants to catch Diablo, and of course Immortal's going to be right with him. Both on the same compound tyre. And these two have been battling all race long, really. Surf Red then, after all sort of said and done, it's P8. Respectable job from Surf Red so far. Didn't make that mistake on early. Other drivers have made mistakes. He's been able to keep his nose clean in the Ferrari and has just made up places organically as the pit stops have cycled through and stuff. So good job Surfer so far. Then you've got Ginger Post here, P9. He's also got some good pace after the pit stops. Now he's on the super soft compound tyre, so he'll be looking to get Surf Rev before the end of the race. The penalty collector just on his fastest lap of the race now on the super soft compound tyre. Again, just like Ginge, he's going to want to as he loses it, that every time I come to James Harburn I think and he's smashed his front end up. He did say in the group that he wasn't looking forward to this one, as in getting it commentated. Let's see why now, mate. You certainly weren't doing that sort of behaviour at last night's race. You were a little bloody alien in that one, mate. So yeah, you must have got all your mistakes out of the way on this one. Did you perform? 11 for him so far. We did see him make that mistake earlier on in the race. I do love that limb. It's a beautiful looking car. Looks like an angry bee circling around, doesn't it? Idle 4 gaming then P10. Rolling around with Surf Rev before the pit stop cycled through, so he's lost a little bit of time somewhere. Surf Rev's pace at the moment, well, throughout the majority of the race, has just been a little bit quicker, so he's just been able to make up that time. Let's have a look through the top left. Marshall's trying to take James's title of collecting penalties. He's got one of his own now. Faithless Emo's managed to pull away a little bit of a gap from Immortal with a 29.0 the last time around, 29.999 for Immortal that time, so near enough a second loss from Immortal. So, a little mistake somewhere. Diablo doing a good enough job. He's probably going to struggle to catch Jano though. Just see Jano just in the distance, just a little bit of a speck. Gino, though. He's trying to get on terms with Walmart. His problem is going to be that Sirocco, a very fast car out of the corners. He's going to have to do it on the brakes somewhere, and with Walmart enough times to know that he's a very, very elbows out sort of guy when he wants to be. Someone who just karting a lot. We're used to a rambunctious defence if he needs to. But yeah, gets a good exit out there, but Gino also gets a good exit out of there. Walmart's going to try and cover this maybe. Maybe these guys are just working together at the moment to try and catch Jay Wills. That may seem like a bit futile though, boys. You've got 7 minutes to catch a rampant Porsche that is, in fairness, even on the soft compound tyre now doing 28.5s. Boys, it's a tough one. But, you know, I love the enthusiasm. James, then, even after that spin, P13 for James. The good news, though, James, the silver line out of all this is you get a really good starting position at Spa. You know what I mean? You P2 at Spa, so happy days, dude. I think your set car's a Lamborghini as well, which should get off the line quite well there, so you quid's in, mate. That race is coming up after this one, of course. We'll have a short break while I load the replay. Time for me to go and make a cup of tea. And then we'll watch the Spa race together. See what happens there. Boy, what the hell? Jano, you magnificent bastard, what have you done here? When did this happen? I've got to watch this. Right, so I cut away from this at the wrong time then, because they were fighting together. I thought they were working together, and then oh no, cheeky. Just gets that move. Oh, Warmid did go a little bit deep. That's what made the move happen for Jano. All that work Warmid did earlier on in the race is suddenly undone, and these guys weren't working together after all. It's that old meme in it, call an ambulance, then pulls a gun, but not for me. And with 6 and a bit minutes left of this race, Jano's put himself up into P2. Diablo can hope that those guys can start fighting, but there is still quite a deficit as we saw earlier on. Faithlessimo is well and truly buggered off now. Just pulling the gap, though Immortal has just set his fastest lap of the race, so now maybe Immortal's getting in a bit of a rhythm with things, and he's indeed setting personal best sector times as well. So through sector 3 there, Brands Hatch is made up of about 5 or 6 microsectors, so through sector 3, Immortal setting his fastest lap of the race so far. Machine Curve goes to Citroen. We'll get another little update on his progress now. Lost time though through sector 4. Probably where the Citroen's been struggling then. Lucy's still carrying a little bit of that penalty. He doesn't have to worry about it though. This is the thing, like, unless he's in a position to overtake another car, i.e. within like a second or so, you might as well carry it and just burn it off through the course of the race. It doesn't really matter. If he burns it off now, it's going to bring this kid in play, and yeah, Marshall won't want that right now. Because Surfrev is catching him. Looking at the lap time, Surfrev catching him about half a second a lap. So Surfrev will be on him by the closing stages of the race if current pace continues, and no reason to doubt that will happen. Faithlessimo looked like he was going rather deep there, but that's maybe just his line because the apex was gathered up nicely enough. Warmid still down behind Jano. Let's go to the back of the pack then and check in on Sayrexic, who's going sideways and into the wall. We have lost Idle 4 Gaming, who has Control-Alt-deleted himself out of the race somewhere. Nice one, Surfer. Yeah, I'll have to put you on a Be Right Back screen though after this one, just so I've got a bit of time to load the replay. Rick's shared them, I just need to then download them. But we can do that while we all make cups of teas and stuff, can't we, you know? I think James might be in to pick up a few places. If you can if he can get the James form that he was on last night, he'll have no problems reeling in Haas. Oh, we've got a yellow flag out, and it's Rick taking out the braking markers then in the Ferrari. Let's get a POV. So Fushin is just going to touch the grass, and that, yeah, that's just going to spin you. The Ferrari with the rear wheel drive and the mid-mounted engine, all the weight's over that back axis. You've got a fully loaded tyre on that left-hand side, and unfortunately that's a recipe for disaster. Lamborghinis, etc. can probably just about get away with that because you've got the four-wheel drive to counteract it, but yeah, that's the risk you pay. That's the risk you take. Surf Rev that makes that move happen on Marshall. Marshall burned that penalty. It's just unfortunately let Surf Rev right back through. So it's whether Surfer can pull away then, or if Marshall's going to make this tough work for Surfer. Surfer's got the time left to do anything about Immortal. In fairness now, he's been reeling back in Faithless Emo. So by pure consistency, Immortal now, arguably really good pace following the pit stops. So he's reeling back in on the Lamborghini that he spent so long today looking at the back of. Now, Ormid and Jano still tussled in this. As Jano goes a little bit deep there, that's going to give Walmid an opportunity. Maybe no, he can't make any advantage out of that this time. Looking at the fuel though, Walmid might have to worry about that. He might have to be short shifting a little bit. By my reckoning, we've got 2 more laps, maybe 3, depending on just how well these guys go. I reckon 2 more laps looking at the timer though, so Walmid might just have to sit station for the time being. Faithless Emo's got to hold off on paging Irishman. There's 2 more laps. Seems doable, especially around Brands. Or open track like Spa would be having a different conversation, but at Brands Hatch, really vulnerable on a couple of occasions. James then V has is catching him at a severe rate of knots, but he's just running out of laps now. So 2 more laps for the McLaren. It's definitely not an impossible pass for James Harman to make, especially with the tyre advantage he does pertain to have. And so Execu, I have to give huge credit for, hasn't been on pace this season. I've spoken to him separately about this because I've offered to bump him down a league because he's I mean, I've raced against this kid before. He's quick, but he's just not on pace this season. We all have it, but he's kept going, and I've just got you've got to respect that. The man at the moment though, Jay Wills, is just on another level. Mid then, is he going to try and hang this round the outside? Surely not. He's going to go for the cutback and get the move made up into Drury's. That's what he's trying. Jano is smart to it though and defends the position. Sirocco does normally execute those cutbacks quite well because of the nature of the car. It has quite a lot of grip coming out of the corners. So if he can line up a cutback move, that will be a good opportunity for Warming. Faithless Emo still ahead of Immortal. Not close enough during this last lap Immortal to do really anything about the Lamborghini ahead. Surfer have maintained his position ahead of Marshall for the time being. No other battles really to tell you about other than can James Harman throw one up the inside of the Toyota 86 there of Haas 91. It's got a lap to do it. I don't doubt that'll happen. Keeping an eye on the front 3 as well, because they are coming round now. To start, as James Harman does go indeed up the inside of Haas 91. As he's going to try the cutback on him. To no avail from the time being, to no avail. As Jay Wilster comes around to finish the race. We've barely seen you, Jay. I apologise, but you've just been too bloody quick. Jaino then, with what has to be hailed as a great drive against Warmid. Those two have enjoyed a great battle this race. Then you've got Diablo, who's largely been alone, but did a lot of his hard work in stint 1. P4 for him. Faithless Emo, hard fought race for him. P5. Immortal 6th. Surf Rev 7th in the Garari. Marshall 8th. Ginge Imposter in P9. Our hostess with the mostest. Big Gigi Buffon will be ruining that mistake he made early on. What could have been for him, unfortunately, but a P10. Still points on the board. Then James Harbin made a few mistakes tonight. P11 for him. Why couldn't you make those in the British GT event, James? That's all I'm asking, mate. And then Rick 13th. Sayorexic P14. But importantly for Sayorexic, it's going to be pole for Spa. So it's going to be reverse grid. We'll go and watch that in a moment. Let's just watch Sayorexic come across the line. And it'll bleed us out. So while I start... Tell you what, let's change it up. I'll give you an advert, one sec. Skip that. Let's give you a lo-fi, Gil. So, let's have a look. Chat, Surfer. Right, go and make your cup of tea, Surfer. I am going to go and find this replay that Rick shared. There we go. Beautiful, man. Right. I will be right back, ladies and gents. Alright, the race is loaded, but my kettle's still not boiled, so I'm gonna leave you with the be right back screen for just a minute, but as soon as I've made my tea I can come back and we can get straight on with Spa. Did Tino use super soft in Brands? I don't know, Matt. I wasn't that observant to it. I'll level, but maybe someone can go back and have a look, because I will have had the data on the screen, so it should be relatively easy for someone to just have a quick peek at. But yeah, both compounds will have had to be used, but give me a minute, I'll be right back. Right, I'm back with tea. Let's turn Lo-Fi Girl off. There we go. You can shut up. Right, let's go back to here. Just look back, don't think he changed, started on softs. Okay, well, that'd need to be referred to the stewards for them to have a look at. I will be putting a post on the page after this. Basically just saying, look, we need the drivers to police it. So, overtaken with a penalty, not using the correct car, not using both compounds of tyres, you need to just submit it to the stewards for review. We then look at it. And obviously, it helps us, because I'll be honest, it's, you know, there's not many of us, as Rick will know, because he's in the group. But yeah, so this is Spa-Francorchamps. So this is the reverse grid race based on the results from Brands. So we've got Sarah on pole, Rick in the Aston Martin, then P2. Haz in the Citroen. Watch out for Haz. That car is a rocket off the line. James Harvin in the Lamborghini should get a good start as well. Big Gigi Buffon in the Ferrari P5. Then we've got Gingy Poster in the 4x4 Nissan GTR P6, and Marshall, another Lamborghini driver, P7. Surfrev in the BMW P8. Immortal, another Lamborghini driver there, P9. Faithless Emo in the Toyota Supra is P10. Diablo, P11 in the BMW Walmid. Another BMW driver, P10. Jano, another BMW driver, P13. And then Jay Wills is showing us in a Sirocco. So yeah, another VW Sirocco at the back. So let's get this one underway. Swoggy, how are you doing? Long time no speak. It was in the last stream, wasn't it? But yeah, good to see you again, bud. Here we go then. Let's get up to the front. Short one down to the source hairpin. It's lights out and away we go. Everyone gets away cleanly. The Citroen expectedly gets a decent enough start then, but it is still Cerex taking the Honda LSX leading us into turn 1. Is it kept clean then through the back of the pack? It seems to be so far. We do have Surfrem though sent out into the nether regions. James Harben's gone down a couple of places as well with Rick and Marshall and Big Gigi Buffon getting better starts. And Has 91 in the Citroen does lead us through Eau Rouge already on for the first time of asking. Sayrex is trying to hold on to that position. It's going to be Slipstream City's Faithless Emo there. Was he off-roading? And Tino just go off-roading then. He starts on mediums. So a lot of the cars get bunched up ahead. Faithless Emo invents his own part of the track to get through. Unconventional, I will say. Sayrex, a good driver, he's got penalties, so he's going to back out of it. Doesn't have to do that, but he is. Just can't make any overtakes, so really a wise move. But that's given Big Gigi Buffon a avenue of which to go ahead. We saw Immortal then, another driver potentially making up his own track limits, but did he just get he just got hung out to dry on the outside, maybe a little bit late on the brakes. Re-entry though, to be fair, is safe enough, so no problem with that. Let's have a look at what else is going on. We've got warming up to P8. This is the GTTCC, the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, mate. Biggest league on GT Sport. Hopefully also continue to be the biggest league on GT7 when that comes around. Might explain James's lack of pace by the fact that he's starting on the hard compounder tyre. Slowest possible tyre you can start on. There's James and James is not just exploring track limits, he's nearly driving off into a different country. Puts him down in dead last, unfortunately. There was Gigi Buffon, gets himself up into the lead. Has on the hard compounder tyre. Really starting to struggle. There's Rick also eager to place to Jano, who's having a brilliant start so far. He's the silent assassin. These reverse grid races are absolute chaos for the first few laps. Just want people eyeing themselves out and figure out where their place is on circuit. Marshall coming under pressure then from Faithless Emo. Through Blanchimont. Are they going to go side by side? They are. That's brave. And Marshall just has to go off circuit. It wasn't pushed off, but part of the track he wanted to occupy was already occupied. Marshall's going to pick up a penalty for his efforts, and unfortunately now drops down to last place. Jano then does get himself up to P2. Past Rick, Has 91 and Ginge now go to war. Ginge on the faster compounder tyre. Immortal down to 7th, warming up to 6th. Faithless Emo down to 8th. Diablo running 9th. One thing to actually talk about. Oh, is this the one where you used? Yes, it is. Yes, that's the one, Swoggy. So Group 4s. The rules in this one, bud, is the 2 races each week. Your 2 different cars, you pick for the season. You pick the car to use in race 1 every week, and the car to use in race 2 every week. But they can't be the same drivetrain. You see such a varied array of cars on the show. It doesn't really give you the opportunity to have an OP car because the tracks are all very different characteristics, etc. So it does mix it up. Yeah, so you've got all sorts. We've got FFs in here, we've got FRs, MRs, 4x4s, all the different shapes and sizes, which I quite like. Diablo then the BMW, or just a little bit of an accidental nudge there on James. James, unfortunately, there's a weight to it. Survived it. Strategies as well, so we've got your tyre compounds for each race. So your race 1 is softs and supers. Race 2, which is this one, is mediums and hards. You've got to use both. Failure to use both will result in a penalty. To have a chat with the stewards about what that penalty might be. I think we need to figure that one out. Yeah, Phil was telling me about it. It sounds a good championship to be in. Yeah, Swoggy, mate. It is. I'm not biased. It's what this is the championship that got me started in sim racing, mate. So I have it on. I'm on season 17 now, and I've been driving in this since season 8. literally season 8, I was on a control pad, sat over the corner of my bed, just playing it that way. How's it going to get reset? I was just about to say that, but you beat me to it. It does that. If you try and cut the bus stop, any reason, even if you're going 1 mile an hour, it will still throw you out. GT Sport for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a stupid game for like that. It's not like you're gaining time. Strategy. Now, for my race here, I had a very unorthodox strategy that was actually discussed between me and Diablo, who was in this race. And that was to start on the hards, hit really early in the race and get out of the traffic. It turned out quite nicely because I managed to break away at the front end of my race and running P4, I think. Pitted in the end of that front. Warm mid there goes really deep, and that's what's going to give Ginger possible for a bit of a free ride that one. Mid was on the attack. Ginger didn't defend it. Mid, unfortunately, just went a little bit too deep. Is that going to give Faithless Emo a run at him? Faithless Emo's got Immortal, goes a little bit wide there. Is that going to give Immortal an opportunity? He's not close enough to take advantage of it, but Faithless Emo with the dirty tyres also going to get a penalty for having the audacity to lose time through a corner. All over him like a fat kid in a cupcake, and Tino's just got the dirty tyres, and yeah, he's struggling for grip at the moment, is Tino. And Immortal, just as we come through to P1, even on the harder compounder tyre, it's an easy move. Because Faithless Emo was just losing so much time on those dirty tyres. Then Surf Rev will be looking at this, he'll be looking at the penalty that Faithless Emo's got, and hopefully he can take advantage of that as well. Surf Rev, another driver on the hard compound tyre. We're into lap 3 already, 7 minutes into the race. At what point do we see pit stops? Sayrex has left the room, and the another driver has left the room as well. Or is that idle? Might have been idle from this one. Jano then's also got a little bit of a penalty. You can get them quite easy at Spa. It seems quite easy to pick up a penalty. I think most people got one at some point. Gigi Buffon is steaming away at the front of this one. It's on the medium tyres, so you kind of expect that, but second and third on mediums as well. The next person on hard tyres is Warman. So depending when he pits, this could be quite interesting. There's a few drivers down the front that are on that harder compound tyre. This is the first time I've seen the Super GF4B. Not a lot of people use it, dude. And I don't know why, because I thought it was quite a good car. It sounds, I love it. I love the sound of it. I know it's basically a BMW in a different dress, but it's a nice car. Is it a straight 6? Emo this time, not going off-roading, just using pure power to get past it. A V10 Lamborghini, that's sim racing for you. Faithless Emo going to try and hang this one round the outside. Lovely drift into it. Lovely drift at the end of the Camel Straight. Guess that move made. Nice overtake. Good evening from Big. Right, your name, because I cock it. Is it Big Gigi Buffon or Gigi, or am I just gonna call you something else entirely? Let me know. Answers on a postcard, please. Jano then tucked up right behind Rick, but unfortunately for Jano, can't do anything about it because he's carrying a penalty and unable to overtake. The only caveat to that is if Rick bins it. So if Rick goes and has an accident, then Jano can take advantage of that. So keep an eye out for that potentially happening. They've got Warmid then P4, Junior Poster 5th, Faithless Emo 6 now after getting past Immortal. He's got his clean tyres on now. J Wills P8, winner last time out in the VW. Marshall P9, a lot of these drivers are on the hard tyres. Surfer Rev P10 in the BMW. James Harmon P11. Diablo P12 and has 91. And P13, of course, we have lost Sayarexic. But Big Yugi Buffon, when does he pit? I want to start on the mediums as long as possible, ideally. It's worth a good second round here at Spa. Jano then can't do anything about Rick. Try and get rid of that penalty. He's still got a little bit of it left. Easy to burn penalties on this game. Haven't seen anyone in the pits yet. Probably expect if anyone's on the hard tyre, Jay Wills is doing exactly that. Jay Wills is getting out, so he's Marshall. And they're getting out of traffic early and want to spend as much time on the medium as possible. The medium will last 20 minutes. It'll be a little bit ropey at the end, but as I found out to my peril. But yeah, it's well worth switching early because you still overall you gain time. Yeah. So Spa has quite possibly the longest pit lane in the entire universe. It's about 40 seconds of pit stop here. It's a good old chunk of time. But Mr. Buffon still sat in purple sector times on considerably, well, it's not considerably, but one medium time. Jano then has got past Rick. Let's see how that happens. On board Jano. So we'll have just been Slipstream City. Rick's a smart racer. He probably won't have given this too much fight here. We'll just probably hope that Jano outbreaks himself and goes for the cutback. So no movement in, unfortunately, for Rick right now. Walmid's got himself into P4. Didn't see that overtake. I'm not rewinding it to check, but I'm going to assume that was the same sort of thing. Faithlessimo P6 just set his fastest lap of the race now. Now he's free from the traffic. Not doing his tyres any good by putting great big holes in them by drifting, but there we go. He's surviving. Surferev then has made his stop, and he stopped early. So he's on mediums now, and he's going the rest of the race then on these medium tyres. So everyone ahead of him has to pit yet. Got Marshall now on the mediums. Has 91 on the mediums. Diablo on the mediums. Jay Wills on the mediums. James Harben on the mediums. Surferev on the mediums. These guys have all pitted. The top 7 have yet to pit. A couple of those guys still on hard, so I'd expect those, your Warmids and your Immortals, I would probably expect them in this lap. If they go any deeper into the race on hard tyres, you're just losing time. And those on the mediums here, expect to see them stay out for another couple of laps yet. Give Rick a penalty for daring to go outside track limits. The game might be kind to him. In theory, it detects if you've lost time through that sector, but GG for now. We're probably going to change it soon. Fair enough. So I've been kind of getting it right then, Kevin. So you know, I know I've ham-fist. I usually do ham-fist people's names. So far, so good. Jano then, so that's fastest lap of the race so far, 29.2. Yet to pit, of course. We've got some more guys in the pits. We've got Rick. He's pitting with the mediums on, so he's going to do a longer stint on his hards. Immortal does pit on the hards. Warmid. That might backfire, dude. We will see, of course. We will see. Penalty, doesn't need to sweat that one too much. Is Tino just like Tokyo drifting the entire thing, or what? Every time I cut to you, mate, you're sideways. I mean, yeah, look. I mean, it looks good, but it's got to be turning those medium tyres into 50p pieces by now. I actually watched your stream and I didn't notice this was happening, so this is really subtle. I noticed it a few times, look, the sheer amount of times you're just Tokyo drifting around this track, mate. Surfer v Rick. Surfer's then 29.0 that lap for Surfer Rev. Very, very, very respectable lap time on those medium tyres. Surfer come the end of the race though might well be struggling on those, but anything can happen at Spa. The problem is for these drivers it's easier to make a move here at Spa. Plenty of big braking zones and long straights of which to sucker your enemy into making a mistake or outbraking themselves. So for no room at the end though, we had to pick James Harbour now coming under attack from the Sirocco of Jay Wills. James of course pitted earlier in the race. GG in the pits on the mediums, so he's pitting at the halfway mark. I probably would have expected some of these guys to go longer. Walmid finally pits from his hards. He's going to give the race lead to Jano at least temporarily. I would expect him to hang this out as long as he possibly can, really. Same for Ginge. Faithlessimo, his pit crew's ready to put some new 50p's on that one. See, the cars, they just spend ages in the pit lane. It's so frustrating. Didn't see Jay Wills battling away still with James Harbour a bit further back. Some good battles going on here actually. These are some nice tasty little duets we've got going on. We've got Jay Wills in the Sirocco. James might just let this one go. No, he's not. I was going to say he might let it go and then just slip through and back again. Oh, we've got Faithlessimo now in the mix as well. His problem is if he gets overtaken by these cars, he's got a penalty and can't overtake him back again, so he's trying to defend this one, but resistance is futile as Jay Wills manages just to squeeze in ahead. Faithlessimo now about up to speed, and he'll have James Harbour and Diablo all over him like a seagull on chips, unfortunately, and to just try and burn away that penalty. I think as James is going to try and hang this one down the outside. Diablo's going to try and pinch him down the inside. Diablo actually backs out of it. James Harbour thinks better of a move there. James doesn't want Jay Wills probably to escape. Oh, as he leapfrogs his car. I love that glitch. Got another battle kicking off a little bit further up as well. This is Warmid, Rick, Surfer. Walmid then, who was running P4, I want to say. Now has the hard tyres on, the medium tyres on, so whereas Rick has the hard tyres on, so in theory a relatively straightforward move for him to make, but the longer he stays behind Rick, the harder it's going to be to catch this guy here, Surfer Rev. Surfer's pace is on point at the minute, so as long as he keeps that up. So your net race leader then here, Gigi Buffon. As Jano does pit. So, might well be tight. As Imposter comes in from P2. Might well be tight between these two, because you don't really need to take much, if at all, fuel on. That might well be a little bit of a track cut penalty as well for Gigi. I was saying earlier, mate, your livery is one of my favourite. Good. So where do you come out in relation to Jano? The 29 for Surf is on it. So you're ahead. You're ahead still, but your problem is Jano's like an attack dog. Surf Rev P3 on the road then, so this is pretty much all pit stops have rolled out now. So Surfer Rev with P3 at the moment, showing good pace, but will have really, really crappy tyres. He needs Rick to do him a solid here and just defend like crazy. As Walmid gets past, Walmid has fresher tyres, the freshest tyres I think of everyone. Surfer v Walmid is the battle we all want to see. Walmid just locks a wheel there going into the chicane. Just about manages to fend Rick off. windscreen wipers proving to be a valuable resource of speed. So, James, what's happened? Again, do you just save all your quick pace, mate, for when you're racing me? Is that what you do? Right, you just wait, oh, I'm racing Chris tonight, I'm gonna turn into a fucking alien. You disgust me. So now, yeah, all pit stops should have cycled through. I'll give you an on-the-road figure and a thing to watch out for. So GG leading the race, hard compound tyre. J&O P2 also on the hard compound tyre. Surf Rev on the mediums, but probably the in terms of lap time, the lap age, sorry, the oldest tyres here. So should be okay for now, but give it a couple of laps, those tyres will start to feel a little bit old. Walmid, who has got past Rick GTR, we saw that at the start of the lap. P4 now for him, relatively fresh medium compound tyres on board that BMW. Rick on the hards, so will invariably get caught by Jay Wills towards the end of the race. Might gap a couple of seconds, so we'll see how that one plays out. Jim Imposter also on the hards. He's been chased down by Diablo on the mediums, but Diablo likes Surfer, those mediums are quite old now. So this move going to be in jeopardy. Faithless Emo is taking James's position and his title as penalty collector. 1.4 seconds worth of penalties, and around here that is a fast yawning chasm of time. Might be able to burn some of that away organically. He can defend his position as well, comes from free to do that, but if James gets past, he can't overtake or carry that penalty, so he'll be conscious of that. James does have tyre advantage as well with the medium compound tyres on board that car. Walmid then, 28.6 last time round, will be in surface slip. Not gaining massively, the BMW does suck a little bit in a straight line, but it's BMW v BMW. Walmid again locks the tyre. Testament to how much he's pushing right now. Jano's got a massive penalty as well, so has Gigi's got 0.4 of a second. Jano's got 1.4. Surfer's just going to hold out really for 8 minutes. It's enough time, isn't it? 3 or 4 laps here at Spa. Let's keep an eye on this then. Let's just jump on board Walmid's POV. Slightly fresher tyres on board Walmid's car. Real world terms, that means he should be able to carry a little bit more corner speed, can probably brake a tiny bit later, but will generally, in general, just have a little bit more pace because of the extra grip. You can see Surf just struggling mid-apex. The car just not wanting to grip the same as it did before. It will naturally drift out a little bit more. Like green AstroTurf, you can run on it, but it's not very grippy, so it affects your exit speed. Walmid now will just be looking for a gap to open up so he can attack into Blanchimont. Surfer's covering that rather nicely. He's going to send him a long way around if he's going to let him do it at all. There's Walmid just playing the long game now and just doing a little bit of a bump draft. That of course is permitted in the race, you can do that. Walmid's going to try and go for the move here. Surfer late on the brakes, very late on the brakes for Surfers, that's going to send him deep. Not able to defend that. Oh, that's nice defending actually from Surf Rev that. Let's go and have a look at that from his perspective. So you'll notice how late he gets it on the brakes here. Gathers it up though during the second part of the corner. Just keeps the car rolling enough just to be able to make Walmid have to give him the space during the second part of the corner. Clever driving that by Surf Rev. Unfortunately, Walmid might just have the overspeed anyway. Now he's going to have to try again in his favoured overtaking space. The end of the camera. Someone's binned it in the background. Rather spectacularly. Who's that? Oh, Tino. Oh, Tino, I know you might be watching, mate. You might be watching this on repeat, but Tokyo Drift bit you in the arse there, my friend, unfortunately, and that's going to cost you a position or two. The good point, burned all your penalty away. So, you know, every club. Let's go check in on these two. Oh, that's ballsy. That is literally this is how big my sausage is. Try and defend it. Side, you don't see this often. We're gonna watch this side by side then through Eau Rouge. And just look at how respectful that is between. Oh, I love it. In fact, I'm gonna watch that again. I just love to see it. This is what the GTTCC is all about. Knowing that you can go side by side through Eau Rouge and Badillon, and you won't get sent into the rail. Look at that. It's beautiful. Because of that, Surfer's still in a position where you can go for a move on Warmid at the end of the Camel Straight. Well done. Love it. So I might have to work it out because Warmid's got the better brakes at the moment. Yet again, he locks a wheel going into there, but someone tells me that's just his trademark touring car style, and through to P3 he goes. Surfer though should be alright because I mean his pace is still fine. Absolutely no issue with Surfer's pace at all, even on worn medium tyres. And the car behind him is on hards. The car behind Rick, he's a fair enough distance away that it's not really an issue for Surfer at the moment. So P4 finish for Surfer at the moment isn't a bad shout at all. What else have we got going on? So Faithful Seaman then after his little excursion at the bus stop. Now has 91 and Marshall for company. It's good to see Tino's actually here and not shouting at his internet like he was the other week. Do we see J Wills then go attack mode on Diablo? We do. Diablo's struggling a little bit here. Stop driving pit relatively early. You can just see how the car drifts out wide. Sirocco is a beast out of corners. Both cars do run wide onto that, so there's no grip out there. Getting the car off it is a problem. I'm trying to drink my tea at the same time. So this is a problem for Jay Wills because he just can't get past Diablo. The car he really wants is Rick up ahead, and Rick, even though he's on a harder compound tyre, he's in the 2-minute 30s. People on mediums are doing that pace, so that's really good pace for the Ferrari. Jay's going to try it again. Slides one up the inside of Diablo. Diablo's going to go wide and get the cutback, is he? No, that's just a wide one. So a little bit of a race recap then, with GG leading the way. Still quite a decent enough gap back to Jano. 3.5 minutes remain of the race. Both on the hard compound tyre, of course. Jano still has a bit of a penalty to get rid of before he thinks about an attack on GG. His main issue though is Warmid. Warmid is on fire at the moment. Not literally, just figuratively. He's himself past Surf Rev now and can begin the chase. Jano's on the hard compound tyre will naturally be a little bit slower. Warmid's in the 229s, whereas Jano's lapping in the mid to high 230s. That is just natural pace on the hard compound tyre. That's not that is slower. It's just the pace on that tyre. Surface tyres are pretty shagged at this point. He's losing a little bit of time then to Rick from behind, but you'd think even on hard tyres, Rick might struggle. We will see, time will tell, I suppose. What else we got going on? Jay Wills then and Diablo still battling away. Jay is still ahead of Diablo. We saw him make the move at the source. So being still ahead of this one. James Harben then reeling up to the back of this pack. Driver on more mediums. So Faithful Seamo's pulled a little bit of a gap then on Marshall and has Supra still keeping its pace quite nicely. Right, where are we at in terms of laps? So we're about to start the last lap then. We've just under 2 minutes remaining, and the lap taken is about 2 minutes 30 seconds. GG has another 2 minutes and 30 seconds to survive the onslaught from Giano, who is not in slipstream range at this moment and still with a penalty. So it's all systems go for GG at the moment. Warmid's got one lap in which to do something about getting up another step on that podium. As someone makes a mistake, Surfer's not in that fight at the moment. He is still comfortably ahead of Rick. Jay Wills maintained his position ahead of Diablo, but has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and catch the Aston Martin up ahead. Everyone looks good for fuel. Ginge just probably skirting on the line of having enough. All looks well at the moment then. As we start this final lap. Spa. Let's check in on GG. Still doing well. Giano really is getting caught by Warmid. Now he can defend this position, like I said, he's welcome to do that even though he's carrying a penalty, but if Warmid does manage to get past, and Warmid's next real opportunity is down into the bus stop, pretty much the last corner of the circuit, because this sector 2, make a move coming into Piff Path, but he's not close enough. Then you've got Stavlo, then it's the one to Blanchimont, which is where you pick up your slipstream, and down into the bus stop is where realistically moves can be made. In my race, that's where Potter was lining me up for the entirety of the last lap. So at this exact time, I was in a BMW on warm mediums, and I was cacking myself because Potter was right up my chufter. A lot closer than Warmid is to Giano at the moment, unfortunately for me. Warmid pushing, however. Mediums have seen better days. No changes behind. Still got track position for everyone else. Oh, Ginger's got past Faith and Simo somewhere. How did that happen? Well, he's always been ahead. My bad. My bad. It's just Faith and Simo was caught him up. So I thought it had been a fresh overtake. Well, right, boys. Let's head up to GG then, who's driven a fantastic race. Got a great start at the start of this one. The hard work at the start of the race, and has just managed to execute. Even though I personally think he's pitted too early, hasn't mattered in the end. P1 is P1. The history books will say Gigi Buffon wins Spa. Giano P2, yeah, just ahead of Warmid, who finishes third. Surfer Ev then a P4, good result there. Rick P5, great result from Rick. J Will 6th, Diablo 7th. James Harben P8. Faithless Emo picks up another position. He's P9 across the line here at Spa. Ginge P10 runs out of fuel. Then it's Marshall and Haz P12, P13 at the line. So that's your lot. Let's get you some music. Who we got? Who can we have today? Who's rocking? Let's have a look. Let's go back to this one. Probably get an advert. Yeah, we get an advert.
Royalty-free music. Discover Epidemic Sound.
Ready when you are, YouTube. Right, there we go. So that's that one. Let's go and have a look at the points, shall we? So again, this hasn't been officially released, and the points I'm about to show you are pending any stewards' investigation that may happen. Which I don't think there has been any logged for Elite 1 so far, but I will check. Team points you can see on the side there. These are up to date, so TOR currently leading the way. Rockstar P2, Samsung P3, Digital Car Culture P4, Google P5. Now they were top last time out. They've got a shocker over week 2. We are driven P6, Coca-Cola P7, and Red Bull popping up the bottom. You see on your results though, Elite 1, Jay Wills leads the way then, 66 points. Giano P2, so it's the battle of the J's then for the lead. And then you got Warmid, just behind Warmid though. James Harben with a week to forget for James, and he'll be looking for a better showing next time out. Diablo P5. See the rest of the results there on the screen. P-Gib 0 points for Pega, but he hasn't raced yet, so hopefully he can get himself some track time. Alright then, so next week we've got, well done Gigi, yeah, he did a sterling job, didn't he? Next week what have we got? Red Bull in the rain and Circuit de Sainte Croix. So those that have, let's have a look what we got. So Lamborghini for GG, he should do well. So will Faithless Emo. All-wheel drive cars for that. I will be putting a clarification on the page, gentlemen, about car choices and all that stuff, because I've had a lot of questions and unfortunately it's clogging up my inbox a little bit. So I will be putting a clarification on the page before the week, next week's races, just to clarify what you can and can't do and change and run and all that sort of stuff. Missed it while watching. No worries, Jay. Yeah, the link is on the page. If you click it, you should just be able to go straight back in and watch. Or maybe you can rewind this live stream. I don't know if you can on YouTube. God knows. No freaking idea, I'll be honest. But yeah, you do get featured quite a lot, so well done. That's your up-to-date points on the screen. But for now, it's gonna be me out. It's getting late. I need to get to bed. I've got work in the morning. So thank you for tuning in if you have, and I will see you all next time out. Be live again Tuesday night for the Infinity GT Manufacturers Series. Hopefully they've got a spot for me to do live comms. If you're not doing anything 9 PM Tuesday, come swing by and get yourself subscribed and click the bell icon. You'll get a little notification when I go live then if you really want to watch. Going four-wheel drive as well next week. What is your car? Let's have a look. Mazda. Is that four-wheel drive? Is it? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh yeah, you should do well then. Should do okay. Tino, I can see you messaging, right? I'm not ignoring you. I'll go and have a look at it in a minute. Yeah, so lot three guys in 4x4s next week. It's gonna be juicy. Right, well, I'm gonna clog this one out here, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate you stopping by and keeping me company as always. Have a good week. Speak to you all again very soon. Bye.